Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here from CubeKing77.com. And a couple weeks ago I did a Nexus 6 revisited video, and you guys gave me a really good response, said you wanted to see more of those. So, time for another one. This time the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. I'm going to revisit it. It's been out for about 10 months now, so it'll be a year in October. They're actually just about set to announce a new one, the Note 5, on August 13th. So that's coming up soon. But yeah, I've been using this as my daily driver for a couple weeks now. Got a lot of good notes. Got responses from people that have actually been using it for 10 months as well. So let's go ahead and revisit the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. Alright, so I quickly wanted to touch on the design of the Note 4, and this is when Samsung just started to move away from the all-plastic look and went with more premium materials such as aluminum around it, which adds a little more weight, but it gives it a more premium feel, like I said, and it's been very durable. Overall, it's held up really well. The pen isn't sliding out at the... it still sticks in. It doesn't fall out randomly, anything like that. So overall, I really enjoy the design. The one thing I don't like is that speaker in the bottom left. It doesn't get very loud, and it just overall it's on the back of the device. So obviously I prefer front-facing speakers myself. Now when it comes to that screen, honestly, Samsung did a good job at future-proofing it with a 1440p Super AMOLED display, and obviously it's a fantastic screen. When it first came out, I was blown away at how great it is, and it still is a great screen, especially because flagships now, the highest it's coming out with is 1440p at the moment. So yeah, it's a great display still. You see the colors are fantastic. Just overall a really great experience, especially when it comes to just colors and outdoor visibility, everything. Now I want to touch on a couple internal specs on the device. One of them being the IR blaster, and this is something I wish every phone had, when you can control your TV through your phone. It's just a fantastic added feature. Now I also want to talk about GPS, and honestly I think just the GPS on this device is broken, and on the Note 4 it's actually been kind of an issue reading through forums, various things. To show you this, I have a fine functioning GPS and a broken GPS, and I'm going to open the GPS status app for you, and you want to check the satellites and the fix of satellites. So you'll see it's got 5 on this one and 0, and it just takes a long time on the Note 4 to actually connect to these satellites and get a GPS lock overall, and sometimes it just can't, and it's just a pain. Like I said, I need to get this device replaced. I even tried certain fixes such as squeezing the sides of the device. That actually didn't do anything. I also tried tightening the screws on the back of the device. Just overall, I think it's just a hardware problem, and if it's on your device, if you have GPS problems, you might want to look into getting it replaced. Alright, so let's talk about that S Pen that is included, the signature S Pen. So here we go, opening it up, you have air commands, you have action memos, smart select, image clip, and screen write. So honestly, the S Pen, mostly I use for action memo, just to write things down. Just quickly say meeting at 4, and that's it. And you could pin it to your home screen if you need to. Touch and hold it to pin it. Another thing that I use it a lot for is actually when I go ahead. Let's see, I could double tap on it, and then I hit action memo. If I need to type a number in, if someone's giving me a phone number, I can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You press this and it highlights it, and then there you go. You can add it to contacts, add it to your phone to make a phone call, send a text message, all that good stuff. Or if you want to add an email address, that's honestly what I use the S Pen the most for. Sometimes I'll just be sitting there scrolling through my phone if I need to. If I'm sitting there with it and I go into settings, one thing I like about it as well is when you're scrolling, just some neat little features like this when you can scroll faster and slower. It's just overall helpful, especially with a larger device like this and you have 2 hands open. I don't generally use it to type text very much in text messages or anything like that, so that's not really what I use it for. Honestly, the main thing I use it for is to write down notes. And also the pen itself has held up very well. I haven't even had to replace any of these tips. I've even heard of anyone that's had to, even though it came with a couple extra. When it comes to the fingerprint scanner, it's actually gotten better over time with software updates. Most of the time it recognizes my fingerprint on the first swipe. Occasionally I'll have to do it a couple times. However, the main gripe I have is that you have to swipe your finger in general. in comparison to the Galaxy S6, where you just have to set your finger on the home button. Especially with a larger device like this, it's just kind of cumbersome to have to move your hand around to try and swipe to unlock the device. Now when it comes to the camera, it's actually still one of the top cameras out there when it comes to focusing, just image quality overall. Taking a look, one downside is actually the gallery takes forever to load. I can kind of show you that in just a second, but here's just some quick point and shoots I did. And just overall, the quality and just the color reproduction on it and everything just looks really great through the camera. So, I mean, even 8-10 months in, the camera is still fantastic. And here's me opening up the gallery. You'll see it open up just fine here, but that's because it was loaded already. But overall, it does take a good amount of time to load the gallery. Just at certain times, it's pretty annoying. It's one of the downsides. And then when it comes to battery life, here's a pretty standard day for me. A little over 4 hours consistently. I can sometimes get almost 5 hours of screen on time with that 3,220 milliamp hour battery. It's fantastic. I mean, overall, I have really no complaints about the battery life, especially with that 1440p display. I can actually show you my battery life right now as well. Let's go to screen on time. See, it's at 3 hours, 37%. That sounds about right. I'm about to get over 4 hours again, so it gets me through the day. It's just really great battery life. Now let's talk about software. Currently, the T-Mobile Note 4 is not on Android 5.1.1 yet. It's still on 5.0. They are very slowly rolling out 5.1.1. It's actually a little unacceptable how slow it's taking them. I know the Sprint version just got it. But so yeah, I mean, just with updates, they need to do a better job at updating it more quickly, I guess I should say. But overall, the TouchWiz is just clunky and bloated. I kind of wish it had the S6 TouchWiz. That's honestly my opinion. It would probably make the device that much better, especially with a theme engine. Just overall less bloat. It can be kind of slow. I'm definitely going to switch back to Nova Launcher after this video. I've been using the standard TouchWiz launcher, and it's okay. I mean, when I try and make a folder, you can't drag and drop icons on each other. You have to go up, create a folder. It's just an extra step that you don't want to go through. Another problem is actually the recent apps button takes a long time to load up the recent apps after you press it. So that actually was really quick. But sometimes it takes up to about 3 seconds for you to actually press that button and wait for them to come up. And it's overall just unacceptable. Definitely something that needs to be fixed with a future software update. Hopefully with 5.1.1, I heard it helped it, but it definitely didn't fix it. Sometimes it just takes way too long to load up, especially when you're multitasking. You want to go through quickly, and that prevents that. However, the Note 4 is actually one of, if not the best at multitasking. You have things such as pop-up window, where you can use them in smaller screens. You can actually minimize them to little bubbles. This is on the S6 as well. So let's load up another app. Do it the same exact thing. You can have two open at once, as you can see, if you want to maybe try watch a YouTube video on one side and then search for the apps in the Play Store on the other. Or it's just anything like that. I mean, obviously, running two apps at once is a really great thing. And you also have multi-window, where you can have one up here and one down at the bottom. When it comes to running high-end games, it handles the latest games just fine. It's honestly enjoyable to play games. It loads them quickly. They look great on that screen. The only thing that's complained about is that speaker on the back. But anyways, software, like I said, just not up to par. It's clunky. You see, I can't even get rid of S-Finder or Quick Connect up here. Let's go ahead and go into settings. The settings menu is a joke. Look at how long this is. Yes, you can change the style, but even if you change the view to tab view, the tabs are just really far apart. Look at this goofy gap right here. If I swipe through, and they're just really poorly done. Like I said, it needs an update to TouchWiz. Hopefully Samsung gets their act together with Android M and just kind of makes it all cohesive with the S6, Note 4, S5, all that good stuff. But overall, I mean, aside from that, I honestly, Note 4 users, I don't necessarily see a reason to update to the Note 5, especially if the Note 5 doesn't have that micro SD card slot and removable battery, if that's something that you loved about the Note 4. The Note 4 is really future-proof. That 3 gigs of RAM, you got that 1440p display. It still has great battery life, even with that display. So that's my overall take and revisit of the Galaxy Note 4. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it as well if you know someone with the Note 4, or if they don't have it as well. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all links in the description of the video below. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching.